First of all, I'm very happy to be here today and at Open Source Day, and this is a great pleasure to be with you and talk about Zabbix, and this is actually my primary topic. And today, I'm not going to go into too technical details about Zabbix, but I will tell you how Zabbix can be used and how it's already used in different industries, and actually will explain what Zabbix is and what are the benefits that Zabbix can bring to your company. I'm not sure. Sorry, is there any? Oh, sorry. No, it's not. Okay. Okay. So, but anyway, let me introduce myself. My name is Alexei Vladishev. I started my work on Zabbix long time ago in 1997 or 1998. Currently, I'm a CEO and a product manager of Zabbix. So I'm engineer, so I'm responsible for architectural decisions about Zabbix. I'm responsible for Zabbix roadmap, and also sometimes I do, well, just occasional coding. So let's try to, and the next slide, thank you. So let's try to define what kind of problems we may face with our IT infrastructures. First of all, it's really important to maintain high level of availability and high level of performance of our IT services. Well, nowadays, almost all companies, even not IT-related companies, they still rely on IT infrastructure in one way or another. It could be, I don't know, just a web server, or maybe a printing, or a file server. Still, there is somewhere IT infrastructure, and availability of services we provide and performance of the services is really, really important. And of course, the transparency, because we'd like to know what is the state of our system. So we'd like to know at any given moment of time what's the state of our system, what kind of problems and issues we have. And of course, it would be very nice to know what could be also the potential issues based on the information we already collected. And capacity planning, if we collect information for a period of time, metrics, and we stored the history somewhere in the database for analysis. So we may use this information later on for capacity planning. So if you're making decision about the budget for the next year or for the next quarter, having numbers, having statistics and analyzing trends, we can say exactly what resources, CPU, storage, network, some cloud resources, we need to invest our money to. So Zabbix is being developed by a professional team of people. Currently, we have two offices. One office is in Riga, in Latvia, so it's very, very close, I guess around 7 or 8 hours drive. And also we have our subsidiary company in Tokyo, in Japan, which is made specifically to support customers in Japan. And actually, I'm very happy that we have more than 90 partners around the world which are there to provide Zabbix support to customers. And we have 2 partners in Poland as well. So what is Zabbix? Zabbix is an enterprise-level open source monitoring solution. And when I call it enterprise, it means it has certain features. First of all, enterprise means it needs to be scalable. It has certain abilities in regards to high availability and redundancy. And also, Zabbix can be well integrated into existing enterprise infrastructure, which already has different services and different platforms in place, such as configuration management systems, asset management system, help desk, ticketing, and so on and so forth. So this is just some areas where Zabbix could be used. Of course, it's availability monitoring. We'd like to know if our resources are available, such as CPU, memory, disk on a very low level to upper level application, are they available or not, or our IT services. IT services is another kind of level of abstraction. We'd like to know if our IT services are available or not. Performance monitoring. Okay, the service may be available, but it will be very slow. We don't, okay, so response time of our web page is 1 second, okay, maybe it's okay, but if response time of our web application is maybe 10 seconds or 1 minute, it's not okay anymore. So SLA, it's both availability and the performance. Sometimes Zabbix is used for security-related monitoring. For example, Zabbix may check integrity of a mission-critical files, such as configuration files or password files, images you use to build your cloud resources. So if configuration file was modified or image was modified, Zabbix will tell you exactly what happened. And also Zabbix could be used on a higher level for business level monitoring. It's about monitoring of SLA, the service level agreements. We would like to have all our services available 24/7, but it never happened in reality. So basically it could be availability of 995% or 999%, 9999%, which is quite expensive to achieve. And this is a SLA. Yeah, which basically representation of how good is availability of our applications. And key performance indicators are very different across different industries, but this is something that can be monitored by Zabbix as well. So let me give you a few examples from different industries how Zabbix is used. In aerospace industry, we have interesting customers like Air Baltic. This is national fleet carrier in Latvia that uses Zabbix to monitor the IT infrastructure. And the Frequentis, this is a company from Austria, which is a provider of solutions for towers used in airports. So in airport, you see tower, and the tower is very complex structure, which is basically the very complex platform, the hardware and software. It needs to be, well, nearly 100% available. And Zabbix is used to monitor the whole platform. So and I'm very happy because it's really very mission-critical environments. And the companies, they have trust in Zabbix to use Zabbix in such environments. Zabbix is used very successful in banking and finance. For example, in Latvia, 8 of top 10 commercial banks, they use Zabbix to monitor the infrastructure. 2 of top 5 banks in France, they use Zabbix to monitor the infrastructure, and the Natixis, one of them, they basically monitor the complete stack of all applications used in the bank. Online banking, card payment services, and so on and so forth. So this is a really good example how Zabbix may bring a real business value. So education. And universities like Zabbix, because Zabbix is open source. You can learn and study how Zabbix works. Students may have a look at source code and again to learn how Zabbix is built, to extend it. So just a few examples, University of Hawaii and Alaska University in the United States, they also use Zabbix. So what else? IT and telco. Well, this is quite a big market for us and for monitoring tools. Just one name, Icon. Icon is a company who is behind internet. Yeah? DNS services, root DNS services, top-level domains, WHOIS service, it's all managed by Icon, and Zabbix is used to monitor quality of service of the whole infrastructure of Icon worldwide. Yeah? So this is very nice example how Zabbix can be used in a highly distributed environment. And another interesting case is Telefonica. Telefonica O2 used Zabbix during Summer Olympic Games a few years ago in the United Kingdom to monitor Wi-Fi access points across the country. So It's thousands of Wi-Fi access points distributed across country. Retail, the largest retail networks. Renner, this is the largest retail in Brazil. Remy in Baltics. And X5 Retail and the Magnet, these are the largest retails in Russia. So they use Zabbix also to monitor, well, the whole network of their shops. POS systems, the health of POS systems, the health of kind of smaller IT infrastructures of all individual shops, and this is also quite distributed environment, and we are taking advantage of the distributed nature of Zabbix. Okay, so what makes Zabbix so well anticipated and so adoptable in different industries? Just first of all, Zabbix is a true open source. And when I tell true, emphasize true, so true open source, we have a single product which is open source. We don't have any enterprise or proprietary versions of Zabbix. No, we are doing just a single open source product, and this is our promise to users and community that Zabbix will always be open source. And actually, Zabbix is providing you best of both worlds. Of open source, it gives you a freedom, and professional services, and services provided by a professional company. So if you use Zabbix for critical environments, feel free to use our 24 support. Feel free to be trained by Zabbix professionals or by our partners. We also provide LTS versions for Zabbix. So you install Zabbix, and this version of Zabbix will be supported. LTS versions of Zabbix will be supported for 5 years. So we guarantee 5 years support for LTS versions of Zabbix. I'm very happy and pleased to see that Zabbix is becoming a de facto monitoring standard, and it's already a monitoring standard. Just we'll give you a few examples. This is Japan, Brazil, Russia, and the Baltics, where actually Zabbix is the #1 choice when it comes to monitoring solutions. Just a few numbers. For example, the last year, I guess during the last year, Zabbix was downloaded more than 600,000 of times. And this is just the number of downloads of the source distribution. Zabbix is also part of Red Hat and Enterprise Linux, CentOS, Debian, and Ubuntu. We don't know what's exactly the number of downloads and number of our users. We don't track our users. We don't sell them licenses. Zabbix was nominated for the second time among world's best low-cost monitoring solutions according to Gartner, which is really, really nice. Zabbix front end, the web interface you use to configure Zabbix, to get information out of the Zabbix, is translated to more than 25 languages, and the Polish language is there as well. And the Canonical, one of our strategic partners, they're promoting Zabbix as the #1 choice for monitoring for IoT, Internet of Things applications. So, okay, so you may ask, what's the scalability of Zabbix? What kind of performance Zabbix may deliver? If you have a standalone Zabbix installation on a decent hardware with lots of CPU power, lots of memory, fast storage, Zabbix will be able to deliver around 50,000 of performance and availability of checks per second. This is quite impressive number because actually this level of performance is enough to monitor 100,000 of devices having 30 parameters each monitored every minute. Yeah? So, and this, of course, the actual performance depends on a number of factors like the size of your database, it depends on exact specification of your hardware, but this is the level of performance we see on production systems of our users and our customers. Zabbix is able to monitor the complete stack of your IT infrastructure starting from the lowest level, the hardware, so it would, if you use servers from Dell, IBM, HP, They all provide so-called management boards, management interfaces based on IPMI protocol, ILO, so that Zabbix may check if your hardware is okay and if there are any failures with your hardware. So it's about the health of CPU, health of memory, storages, hard drives, and so on. On operating system level, we provide the high-performance agent, and we basically support all modern operating systems, not only modern. So all Unix-like operating systems are supported. Linux, enterprise operating system, HPX, AX, Solaris also are supported, as well as True64, if you still use True64, and Windows as well. Network layer, it's about monitoring of network devices, Juniper and Cisco switches, network services, and so on. And virtual layer, and Zabbix provides you with the out-of-the-box solution for monitoring of VMware infrastructure. And it's very high performance and highly scalable. We did this work for one of the cloud provider in Japan, and they use Zabbix to monitor large VMware setup. So basically, we are talking about the scale of around 6,000 of virtual machine per one vCenter. So Zabbix basically connects to vCenter or vSphere. It will automatically detect all your hypervisors. It will automatically detect all virtual machines. And if one virtual machine is migrated from one hypervisor to another, it will be nicely handled by Zabbix. And by the way, according to our partner, Zabbix is the fastest, is the most scalable VMware monitoring platform on the market. They tried many. Middleware and business level, it's mostly about Java applications. All applications based on running on JVM could be monitored by Zabbix, and actually any customer application could be monitored by Zabbix. Of course, not everything is supported out of the box, yeah, but still, it's quite easy to integrate your application and monitoring of your application with Zabbix. There are numerous ways how you can do it. Passive monitoring, active monitoring. You may send traps. You can integrate sending of data into your application. So there are many ways how to do it. So if you deploy Zabbix, there's a great chance that Zabbix will understand most of your devices you already use from most of the vendors, like, I don't know, HP, Dell, Oracle, Cisco, Juniper, and so on. And just recently, I think 1 week or 2 weeks ago, we launched a platform which is called share.zabbix.com, where users, partners, and customers of Zabbix may share their templates. They may share their plugins they already developed with all users, with the whole community of Zabbix. So this is a great resource. Just if you already use Zabbix, please have a look. By the way, how many of you use Zabbix already? Okay, that's nice. Okay, thank you. How many of you use different tools, maybe something from IBM, Tivoli, or BMC? All right. Okay, thank you. So the key functionality of Zabbix, it's a real-time monitoring and problem detection. So Zabbix collects information and it does analysis of this information in real time. As soon as a problem is detected, it reacts somehow. So Zabbix may send you a message, it may give you a call and tell you, okay, we've got a problem. It can try to recover it. Okay, Zabbix discovered service is not available. Zabbix may automatically restart your servers. Doesn't help? Okay, it may restart your server on a physical level. Yeah, so using IPMI protocol. Okay, so there are a number of ways how to recover automatically without the human intervention. And it really helps to maintain the high availability. System is down, okay, Zabbix will bring it up very, very quickly. And of course, visualization. So the information collected by Zabbix can be visualized in many different ways. So we have graphs, we have user views, we have maps, and we are doing now lots of improvements in the Zabbix 3.0 web interface. Okay, in Zabbix 3.0, we are introducing a new user experience for the web interface. We'd like to make it more user-friendly. So basically how Zabbix works. It collects information in many, many different ways. Active checks, passive checks, traps information sent from a distributed proxies. Okay, I will talk about distributed setup. Then it analyzes this information in real time in order to detect problems. Okay, then Zabbix tries to detect the problems. It keeps all information. It keeps all received information in a storage. So this information could be later used or immediately used for visualization purposes. And also Zabbix, one important thing is the support of the escalation. We've got a problem and Zabbix may escalate this problem. We've got some problem with the Unix box. Okay, Zabbix will send a message to Unix admins. If problems still exist, after 5 minutes it will escalate it or resend it to Unix admins and escalate it. We'll send SMS message to a manager. Maybe after half an hour the message will be sent to CEO of the company. And Zabbix may, in the meantime, Zabbix may be configured to do some automatic recovery. So escalation is also very, very important. So when you deploy Zabbix, you may deploy it into a number of ways. One is a standalone. If you have a rather small IT environment, you just install a single, we call it Zabbix server. You install Zabbix server, and Zabbix server will take care of monitoring of the whole IT environment. We are talking about, hundreds or maybe a few thousands of network devices if your network is stable and there is no high latencies. Of course, for larger setups, if you're a big company, you have a headquarters maybe in one city, you have maybe IT resources in the different data centers, or maybe you're a retailer and you'd like to monitor all your shops, maybe hundreds or tens or thousands of shops everywhere. So in this case, we have a solution which is called distributed monitoring based on Zabbix proxies. It's kind of centralized distributed monitoring. When for each location, okay, so for each location, we have one location, we have another location, we install proxies. So what is Zabbix proxy? Proxy is basically a process, lightweight process, which collects information from a local network, from the network of this particular location, and then sends this information to the headquarters, to central Zabbix server for analysis. So that's how it works. And it's very scalable solution. For example, in one of the countries in South America, Zabbix is used to monitor all secondary schools on country level. And this particular customer has more than 6,000 of proxies, basically secondary schools, installed across the country. And the proxies, they have very low hardware requirements. You may install Zabbix proxy on a Raspberry Pi type of hardware, which costs around, $40 US. And on this type of hardware, Zabbix will be able to monitor network consisting of 100 up to 200 of devices. Of course, it depends on how do we monitor those devices. Do we use CPU-intensive protocols like SNMP v3? So Raspberry Pi will not work on SNMP v3 because of CPU overhead. But still, for agentless monitoring, for monitoring using Zabbix agent, it's very, very nice and cost-effective solution. So you may just deploy Raspberry Pis across your branches. So, in order to deploy Zabbix, you may go to our website, zabbix.com. For proof of concept, you may have a look at the virtual appliance that we provide for a number of platforms like Xen, KVM, VMware. We have a live CD, so you may have a look. It all comes with all Zabbix components pre-installed. So you just deploy it. You have a web front end, and you can start monitoring your devices. And of course, if you feel that Zabbix is a good fit for you, it really helps in solving some real issues for production use. I would recommend to you to have a look at our official repository, where we provide packages for Red Hat Enterprise, Debian, Ubuntu, Oracle, Linux, and CentOS. Well, thank you very much, and please come to our stand and visit us and our fellow partners, Akati and Orange companies. Thank you very much.